Welcome to our 3 and almost a half year review of our Tesla Model 3. Right now I'm going to go over the good, bad, and the ugly of ownership in 3.5 years and almost 50,000 miles. So in 48,000 miles, we've averaged 248 watt hours per mile. That comes out to $1,300 in electricity at 11 cents per kilowatt hour. So compared to our old car, a Kia Optima that got 32 miles per gallon, at current gas prices, that would have cost about $4,500 in gas. So that's a difference of over $3,000 in fueling costs over these 3 years. Now at almost 50,000 miles, when you charge to 100%, it's still showing 307 miles of range, which is pretty good for 3.5 years of degradation. So this is an early 2018 model. It was built in March of 2018. We picked up the car on March 31st, exactly 2 years after the unveiling in 2016. So this car has the old back seats, which fold completely flat, unlike the newer cars after I think May of 2018 when they added more cushion. So on the upside, they fold flat so you can put more stuff in it, better for camping in it, but not quite as comfortable for rear passengers. So despite being an early build, the car actually has a really good fit and finish to it. It didn't have panel gaps or misaligned trim or anything like that like people complained about. This is a really low VIN, really early in the build process. No problems like that. The ride quality is great. We did replace the tires with a different tire. These are Yokohama Tornante. I would probably go with the Cross Climate 2 that I put on my Performance Model 3 if we got another set of tires on this. So these tires have held up really well. We replaced them at 20,000 miles and now it's got 48,000 miles and they still have plenty of tread left. The original tires were pretty bald at 20,000 miles when we had to get those replaced. So as far as maintenance, like I said, the tires were replaced at 20,000 miles. We've used probably 3 or 4 bottles of windshield wiper fluid, and we We replaced the cabin air filter one time. I'm going to do that again before I sell it. And then the one other thing we did was we had the 12-volt battery replaced proactively. I'd heard stories of people having their 12-volt battery die after 2 or 3 years and didn't want to be stranded anywhere. So we just went ahead and paid the $105 to have that replaced before it died. So being a really early VIN Model 3, I expected some issues with the car, but really it wasn't that much. We had one headlight replaced. There was a flickering, which was pretty common in some of the older ones. So that was replaced. We had one taillight replaced. It had an issue. So the taillight issue was a weird little spot inside the taillight. We actually had it replaced twice. The replacement ended up having the same issue, which was odd. It's an issue no techs that I've talked to have ever heard of. Looked online, nobody's ever seen it, so I got lucky. 2 taillights with the same issue. So for a long time, Sentry mode didn't work at all, and we couldn't figure it out. Tesla had the car in a few times. They did a few things. They tried replacing the USB ports, but it never would work. So for a long time, they just couldn't figure out what was going on. We just dealt with it. And then when we got the Hardware 3 upgrade in March of 2020, it fixed it. So I guess the computer was the issue the whole time. So this was originally supposed to be a 3-year review, not 3 and almost a half. But back in March, just as I was getting ready to film this, we had an unfortunate incident on the highway. A van flung up a big piece of metal into the hood and windshield of this car. There it is right there. So I came out to see what it was that hit my wife's car, and I found it. Here it is. Big, giant piece of metal. As you can see, it looked pretty bad. So we ended up having to have the car towed to K&M Collision in Hickory, North Carolina. They're a Tesla certified body shop. They had to replace the front bumper, the hood, and the windshield, as well as a few sensors. So 5 weeks later, they towed it back to our house, and it looked great. Everything looked perfect on the front, and took it for a drive, and we were a lucky one that got a windshield that had a flaw in the glass. And not just any flaw, but a flaw right in the driver's line of vision. I could tilt my head to either side and it was clear, but right in the center, when you look through it, it was almost like you're wearing prescription glasses that were the wrong prescription. Just like a distorted feel, and it made your head hurt. So we had to wait until we both had time off that we could take it to Charlotte, because they said that for the warranty work that Tesla had to replace the windshield, to replace the replacement windshield. So we had to take it to Charlotte. Finally, on July 20th, we were able to get an appointment, and we drove down there. I drove the entire way there. By the time I got there, my head was hurting, my eyes were hurting. It was bad, like wearing prescription glasses that you're not supposed to have for 2 hours straight. They got in, the technician said, yeah, I see that. So they took it back. The end of the day, we picked the car up and drove it home. Everything is perfect now. So obviously we absolutely love the car. It's beautiful. It's our first Tesla. Has a spot in our heart. My wife actually said, so we're actually gonna get a Model Y now because she wants more space. But she said, can we just keep Tessie too? But we don't have space in our driveway to have multiple Teslas. And I don't have that kind of spare money just laying around to just have cars. So Tessie's gonna be sold, and we're gonna get a Model Y. And so we'll have the Performance 3 and the Model Y for a while until Cybertruck comes, and then we'll sell the Performance 3 as well. So there you have it. After 3.5 years, love the car. I would definitely buy another one if I wasn't getting a Cybertruck, because I love my Performance 3. This one is just way more efficient than any of the other ones made. I don't know why Tesla doesn't make the rear-wheel drive long range anymore, but there you have it. Love the car. See you next time.